For more than 25 years, a vulnerable lady with learning disabilities was forced to live as a slave in a house in Britain. She was so badly beaten by a broom handle that her teeth had been knocked out. Washing up liquid and bleach were poured down her throat if she had appeared to have done something wrong. Who was responsible for this? A lady called Amanda Wixon. And the most disturbing part of this case, it was just happening in a normal house in Britain. Just a normal suburban house on a quiet street in a quiet English town, not known for any violence. And for more than 2 decades, nobody realised what was going on until one day the police had finally knocked on the door.
Show me bedroom.
Hey?
You're right to show me where bedroom is?
Yeah.
When officers from Gloucestershire Constabulary knocked on the door in 2021, it was just a routine welfare check. At first, nothing seemed unusual until they discovered the bedroom.
Why?
Just because I just need to have a look, just because a concern has been reported to us by some unknown party. So we just need to do our due diligence, really, just to make sure everything's okay.
The room was filthy. It was small. It was cramped. One officer described the room as a prison cell, and the woman that had been sleeping in that room had been staying there for 25 years against her will. The homeowner was Amanda Wixon, and to neighbours, she seemed completely ordinary. Not this evil witch that we've now discovered to be. A mother of 10. She'd lived in that area for years and years. Nothing about her life had raised any suspicions. But according to prosecutors, what was happening behind closed doors was a completely different story.
She wouldn't get any food. She'd been locked in a cupboard. Her abuser abused her, telling her to get up and to look after the children.
The woman who had been living in the house had learning disabilities, and Amanda Wixon had originally fostered her to look after her, to care for her.
She was doing a lot of housework, and when she asked for things, she would be refused.
She'd actually moved into that house as a teenager in the mid-1990s when she was looking for someone to care for her, to nurture her, to develop her into a young woman.
She wasn't having any baths when she was there. Food, she would get like scraps.
The situation changed, and she wasn't treated as another daughter. She was treated as something entirely different. She was slowly placed under someone else's control. Simple things required permission: leaving the house, eating, even just basic hygiene. According to evidence that was presented in court, the lady had no independence.
She just wasn't being looked after at all. And basically it was just horrible.
Everything, she had to require permission for everything. She rarely left the property. There's voice notes that say that she wished she could just walk the dog in a phone that she'd managed to sort of smuggle. She managed to get hold of a phone, and she was recording voice notes of how she wished her life to be.
Has got her own bank account, has she? Or?
No, it goes in to my bank account.
Yeah.
And then we get her things, we buy her food,
Yeah.
and different things that she wants.
For years, all her entire life and existence was to care for the house. She just had to look after the house against her will for free. Investigators say that the woman was forced to cook, she was forced to clean, she was forced to look after the household, but she wasn't paid, she wasn't free to leave for decades, for 25 years.
She hardly left the address while she was there, probably only left the address on a handful of occasions, and she was just used to do lots of menial tasks around the house. So when she was rescued from the address, she went and saw a doctor. So she was malnourished. She had scars on her lips, and she had calluses on her feet from the amount of time she spent on her hands and knees cleaning.
This was a daily routine, and nobody even realised what was happening. As the investigation uncovered, prosecutors found even more evidence that was deeply concerning. Prosecutors described assaults where one of the incidents, the lady was attacked so badly with a broom handle that it smashed several of her teeth out.
I get with lockdown stuff. Did she used to go up before lockdown was a thing, or?
Not a lot. No, she's quite, what's the name for it? Reclusive.
The case shocked investigators, but everyone had one question. The timeline initially started in the mid-1990s and it led up to 2021, more than 2 decades, and for that entire time, the woman remained in the house, cut off from the world, never free to leave, against her own will, which raises the obvious question: how did no one ever notice this was happening?
For 25 years, I lived in fear, control and abuse.
Detectives started to piece together what had actually happened, and they started to uncover all the evidence. Witness statements were taken, evidence was gathered, and investigators started to reconstruct the abuse that had happened within the house.
I was treated as though my life, my freedom and my voice did not matter.
And eventually, Amanda Wixon was arrested. The case went to trial at Gloucester Crown Court. Prosecutors argued that Amanda Wixon had spent decades controlling a vulnerable woman against her own will. They described a pattern of isolation, dependency and control and fear. But defence presented a different argument. They said that the woman had been there voluntarily. She wanted to stay. Allegedly, Amanda Wixon had just been helping someone that wanted to live there. The jury had to decide which version of events was true, and they looked at all the evidence. They looked at the bedroom. After hearing the evidence, the jury had reached a verdict. Amanda Wixon was found guilty. In 2026, Amanda Wixon was sentenced to 13 years in prison for the years of abuse and neglect.
I am now living with a wonderful family who show me kindness, patience and support. Their love is helping me slowly rebuild the life that was taken from me and begin to feel safe again. Nothing can give me back the 25 years I lost.
Cases like this are quite rare. What makes this really weird is that it was just an ordinary house on an ordinary street in an ordinary quiet town in England. Meanwhile, inside, a lady was being held as a slave against her own free will and not free to leave. But from the outside, nobody knew what was going on. Sometimes the most disturbing crimes are not even far away. They're right on your doorstep. And you wouldn't even know. Thank you very much for watching the video, and again thank you to everyone that has subscribed. I'm still trying to grow the channel. Appreciate everyone's support, so thank you.